Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Group Chat, the #1 podcast in the world. Anand and I are holding it down today. And everything's down. Stock market is down. Google's down.
I'm looking for a happy hour special.
Anand's looking for deals because his wealth has evaporated. So between inflation and the stock market, and we're talking about Elon Musk finalizing his purchase of Twitter. We are talking about a lot of other things going on in the world, especially what are some recession-proof companies? We're thinking snacks. Snacks might be the future.
Snacks and trash.
Yeah. And what's going on in China? Apparently a lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
That and so much more. Let's get into it.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
All right. It happened. Elon Musk officially owns Twitter.
Not officially, but it's a done deal.
It's a done deal. I honestly I think he's like, God damn it. I think he was just having fun, spicing it up. He was like bored on a Tuesday. And he's like, I should just buy this thing.
I don't know. He's pretty passionate about free speech. I actually think he's just that talented and he's that important of a figure in society. And I think he understands his importance. And he's like, no one else is going to do good in society, so I have to do everything.
Yeah.
I have to solve climate change. I have to solve the brain. I have to
free
solve
speech.
free speech.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Well,
and solve transportation with the Boring Company.
If he solves traffic, I think Twitter should just only promote his stuff. Everyone else should be banned. Fuck free speech. If he solves LA traffic, he should be a dictator.
There's no entrepreneur we've ever seen that is thinking this kind of cerebral, meaning like he's just thinking about, okay, what are the biggest problems in the world? And let me solve each one of them one by one.
Yeah, like a checklist.
Yeah. Like, what's he going to do after free speech?
I mean, and there's probably a lot to tackle in healthcare.
Sure. I think that's the brain.
Yeah. Climate change, he's figured out.
He figured out climate change.
That's over.
He's about to figure out the brain.
He'll figure out the brain.
He's figuring out transportation.
Yep.
And then now free speech.
Obesity.
And maybe the brain will tell people to stop eating.
Yeah. I would love that.
You get zapped every time you want a cookie.
That's amazing. I need that with the tequila.
No, but it's crazy how quickly this whole thing developed. So I was an investment banker like 18 years ago, right? Or 17 years ago. I forget how long, but a long time ago. When you do an M&A transaction, it takes 12 to 18 months to even get from like discussion to announcement. And Elon did this in a week.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And he just forced the board's hand, forced the shareholders' hands. He gave such a high premium that the board had no option but to say yes. And the speed at which this has been done, coming from like a banker many years ago, is inconceivable.
It's $45 billion too.
Yeah, it's not like dude. There's $300 million transactions that we worked on that didn't even get done in my 2 years of doing banking.
Yeah. So Jack has echoed support for Elon.
Do you think Jack resigned when he did 6 months ago? Put this poor guy Parag up to just get slaughtered.
Yeah.
And
Parag guy is getting a payday.
of course, everyone's making out.
Yeah.
I saw that bankers on the Twitter site are going to make $150 million. They did nothing.
Yeah. They didn't source the buyer.
They didn't source the buyer. They didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So do you think Jack masterminded this whole thing secretly, like resigned, went to Elon, give this poor guy 6 months to just fail repeatedly, and then we'll take over the company?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fascinated with just the size of the deal, the speed of the deal. Was Jack masterminding this the whole time? Set this poor Indian up for just slaughtering?
Maybe he was just Jack's like, there's too many Indian CEOs succeeding right now.
One's got to go.
Let's just set one up to the scaffold and just take arms against it.
Whatever. Parag is going to make.
He'll probably make a few $100 million.
Yeah, they showed his payout, the acceleration of a buy. I mean,
Yeah, because he's going to get fired, so all his equity is going to get.
and by the
realized.
way, I mean, like, he looks like a hero too.
He delivered shareholders a 50% premium by being someone that everyone hated. It just shows you like the power of the product. You have the most important, arguably the most important business person in the world realizes Twitter is dictating the world's conversation.
Yeah.
And he's like, I have to solve this.
Yeah. And he put out a tweet that I hope my fiercest critics remain on Twitter.
And then you saw Mr. Donald Trump say he won't come back on.
Wow.
What do you think of over-under is once Elon offers the olive branch, come back on? Because his Truth Social is never getting off the ground.
Yeah.
And you can even look at there's data on Trump searched articles post being deplatformed have fallen off a cliff.
Yeah.
So his relevance, I think two things happen. His relevance is gone, but he's more liked than ever
Yeah.
because he became this like person that people wanted to rally behind of like this free speech. Because even that candidate, J.D. Vance is his name in Ohio. He's a pretty like a right-wing dude that's running for office in Ohio. And the moment Trump backed him, his polling shot through the roof.
Yeah.
So Trump is weirdly less relevant, but then more popular than ever.
I don't think his influence has gone anywhere. He's just not, we're not seeing him.
Yeah, mainstream
because-
media isn't seeing him.
So that's his point. He's like, I'm more powerful. I mean,
He's more popular.
yeah. So, and I think to be fair, one of the reasons why is because he's been neutered from a communication standpoint.
People have short-term memories. They don't forget that he like made fun of a Mexican judge.
Yeah, that all that stuff goes out the door, and now it's just about him, kind of what he represents and the
He's like become a mythological figure for the right.
They remember all the positive, and so you don't hear the negative talking heads every single day. So I think his team or him realize I don't even need to be on Twitter. You don't.
He needs to make money because the number of lawsuits he's in, the rumors are.
Yeah, whatever. He'll be president again. What do you mean make money? He'll be president. The lawsuits go away.
Sure, but I think he's burning cash right now.
But why do you have to be on Twitter? You don't have to be on Twitter.
Sure, but you're saying he's going to be forced to run.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's going to run, and I mean, who's more likely to win?
It's him or DeSantis.
I think DeSantis picking a fight with Disney is going to backfire.
Well, he's robbing Floridians of taxpayer dollars.
I just think that like that fight is like a waste of time for DeSantis. He has too much positive momentum.
Yeah, he's trying to run the Trump playbook of like just fucking eviscerate any liberal idea, period.
Yeah.
And I think he went too far.
So we'll see. Whatever. I don't want to get into politics. I don't really care, actually. They could all be president. Whatever. I think the more important point is Elon Musk is now the proud new owner of Twitter, which, pretty insane.
Mm-hmm.
And the other piece is Walter Isaacson, who wrote the Steve Jobs biography, apparently has been shadowing Elon Musk for some period of time. We don't know how long.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's probably been the most insane journey. And he's clearly been shadowing him during this entire process. Walter Isaacson put out a tweet last night saying at 10 p.m. he held a meeting on Raptor engine design where he spent more than an hour working on valve leak solutions. No one mentioned Twitter. He can multitask.
It's crazy.
That is literally crazy.
He's working on rockets after being the most talked about person in the news for 1 week.
Yeah. And what's interesting is like Tesla stock was punished today. I mean, the whole market went down, but they specifically called out that like investors concern because he purchased Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue that it's only additive to Tesla, right? Because the guy personally bought a marketing machine
Yep.
that's going to only elevate all of anything Elon Musk adjacent, which is Tesla, SpaceX, Boring Company, to the tequila, flamethrowers, whatever it is. All tides rise of Elon Musk, when now he's literally the most talked about person every single day.
You want to be in the business of Elon Musk.
Yes.
So,
Hot business.
I mean, Tesla going down, I think
It's a joke.
it's a joke. The market got crushed today. And I think Tesla got punished a little more than the rest of the market, but not significantly more. So I think people will recorrect that. Like, there's no reason to bet against this guy. Twitter, it's going to take his mind share. It probably takes an hour a day. I think that's how productive this guy is. He can do like a five-point checklist. All right, these are the things that will solve Twitter, and I'll move on to rockets, and then I'll move on to transportation.
What about lunch? Do you know how hard it is for the average person?
Doesn't he have 5 kids?
Yeah. Average person to pick lunch?
It's a big discussion for me specifically.
Most people cannot figure out lunch and dinner. This guy is figuring out 5 of the most transformational businesses on earth.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I'm curious if he actually turned Twitter around financially, because
it doesn't matter. It's private now.
No, but sure, there's a limit to what he can stomach in terms of
It's a profitable company, so he may just run it as break even.
Yeah.
It's his business.
Yeah.
He can do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
It's his 21 billion of equity. It's his 22 billion of debt. No one can tell him shit on
I
Twitter.
hope he bans NFTs.
He should ban bots. But
Clearly the purchase has pissed a lot of people off, though.
it pissed off Bezos.
He backtracked.
Bezos is a little
He's jealous.
He's jealous. Like, bro, you decided to give up your business life to go live your personal life.
Which
Great.
is fine.
Do your thing. No one's here to judge anyone.
So his comment was around Tesla's relationship with China.
It was such bullshit. It was such haterade.
Yeah.
Like, Bezos, like, if you want to be Elon's level, then get back in the office.
Yeah.
But if you want to be on yachts and at H-Wood Super Bowl parties, do that.
Yeah.
No one's telling you what to do, but don't shit on one of the greatest entrepreneur of all time. Not one of, the.
He has to buy something now. At least a $50 billion value.
What do you think it is? I don't think he can. He doesn't have time. Guy doesn't start work till 10 a.m. Now he's traveling the world, partying.
Buy Pinterest.
We didn't see him at Coachella, shockingly.
Yeah. I think he's already on the boat.
So, I mean, Bezos' tweet was basically, someone tweeted, because everyone has to have a real strong opinion one way or the other on this, that Tesla's second biggest market is China. They sell like batteries to China. And then Bezos hinted like Twitter's now one step closer to the CCP. That's just bullshit.
But then he backtracked.
Yeah, because he got shit.
Yeah.
But he wrote the first tweet.
Yeah. He knows he can delete it, right?
You can delete it, but then you get screenshots. So rather he backtrack.
But he did compliment him at the end. As if anyone can figure it out, it's Elon.
I think he forced to, because Bezos has now proven to the world that he deeply cares about his public image. He posts on social media. He posts that he's ripped. He posts his vacations. He's photographed with celebrities nonstop. So you don't want to get hated on. You can't go against Elon right now.
He should buy Equinox.
What's he going to do with it?
He's a big fitness guy.
I mean,
he has to buy something big.
I think he has to stop hating.
No, I think you just have to buy something. Then the attention goes back on you. It's the hating doesn't work, or even talking. You got to buy something. Nothing makes a splash like a $50 billion purchase.
And it's been widely documented that Elon and Bezos, they're like are rivals.
Yeah, 100%.
They like make fun of each other. Whose rocket's faster?
Yeah. Maybe a planet? How much are planets?
I don't know. Let's check on StockX.
Who do you pay for a planet? Who do you Venmo?
Probably the CCP.
But I just think for Bezos to get back into the picture, you gotta buy something, and it's got to be over $45 billion.
What could it be? Netflix?
Let's buy the whole thing.
Yeah,
that's hot. Buying Netflix is hot.
Yeah, it's trading at $100 billion, 2x Twitter.
Then okay, I control content. You control the news.
Yeah. I control the world's entertainment.
Yeah. I'd rather own Netflix than Twitter.
He's a big entertainment guy.
That's what I'm saying. And he personally owns it.
Yeah, he has to take it private.
It's the top, when you know, they say new and noteworthy on Netflix. This is what Jeff's watching.
Yeah, so everyone's feed is just
What Jeff's watching. I'd watch whatever he watched.
That's the thing. When you take something private, you answer to no one.
Yeah.
It's your company.
I would love if Elon Musk just does some, you know what? Sports, banned. You talk about sports, you're banned.
This could be really funny, but if the stock market was like 3x, I think you would just see complete fuckery of people buying companies.
Just individually, yeah.
Because people are worth so much money.
Yeah.
I mean, even with the stock market down, Elon's still worth $200 billion.
I think he's worth more.
250?
Yeah. I think 300. His stock has not gone down. Really.
It went down.
Today it went down, but it has not compared to everybody else's.
If you have individuals...
He made $23 billion bonus last week because he hit all the goals of his comp package. That's half of Twitter. That's the cash he put up.
Yeah, I wonder what anyone's going to buy next. But they're the only two that are that rich, right? Look at Steve Ballmer. He's pretty rich.
Yeah.
Bill Gates is pretty rich.
Bill Gates is buying farmland. Pissing everyone off with his farmland purchases.
Yeah, he should chill out.
Bill Gates should buy all the emojis.
Oh, yeah, that was another shot that...
Yeah, but I'm saying is imagine if Bill Gates bought all the emojis and now you have to pay a fee for emojis. Who owns emojis?
I mean, he might as well because people don't like him anyways. You just piss everyone off by owning emojis.
I own all emojis on Earth.
You have to pay a penny every time you use an emoji.
I mean, why not? This is all Elon Musk always says we're living in a simulation. This is fuckery.
Do you think Elon even can he must think the world's a joke. He's like, I just fired a tweet and now I own a $45 billion company.
Yeah. Probably nothing.
Probably nothing.
All right, moving on. Stock market looks like it's just in a free fall.
Mm-hmm.
You wake up, stocks go down. You go to sleep, you wake up, stocks down again.
It's exact opposite of what we were saying in November.
Yeah. So November we were very, very hot. Now all I see is recession fears, inflation, hawkishness from the Fed, down, red, red. So what is that? It's over, huh?
So if you think about tech stocks, growth tech, not big tech, growth tech universally is trading below pre-pandemic levels. So obviously pre-pandemic, no one thought the world was crashing. Then the pandemic happened. Fed put all this money in the system. Stocks went berserk. Everything across the board is down. You know, it's funny. Like a month ago, I would say 60%. Now it's 80% for pretty much everything. And you're talking companies that were worth 150, 200 billion that are worth like 50 billion now.
Yeah.
Everyone's been taken to the woodshed. Microsoft is down 20% year to date. Big tech, which by all accounts is just murdering it on all fronts. They're pretty much flat year over year.
Yep.
And, you know, people are saying interest rate hikes are causing it, recession fears, inflation. But I said this last week, I think behavior changed in the last 2 weeks, specifically on the high end. Last week I said Rosewood was 30% occupancy. So for context, if in Southern California, all the hot hotels, like down in Orange County, you have the Montage, you have Monarch, and all these hotels. Then obviously Santa Barbara, you have Four Seasons, Rosewood. So super high end hotels all had 3-night minimums 100% of the year last year. They had 3-night minimums as of 3 weeks ago. I have a friend who just booked Mother's Day for next month, 0-night minimum.
Where?
At the Rosewood.
But it's expensive.
It's expensive, but so they've all held their rates.
Yeah.
So my friend looked at all the rates and was like, they're trying to hold the rates, but they try to stick you for 3 nights.
Yeah.
And now that's gone. And you can just book any like high-end hotel for a night. And I think
Rosewood is $2,400 a night for Mother's Day.
but it's one night. They would say if you had booked that a month ago, they would have stuck you for 3 nights.
$2,100 a night.
They would have stuck you for 3 nights.
Okay.
Which in last year you couldn't even book these hotels, let alone escape the minimum. So my point is behavior's changed. It's changed in the last 2 weeks. People have realized everyone has less money today than they did in January, and people are tightening the belt. And I think people are going to reconsider vacations, reconsider travel, and the kind of fuckery that was going on where we were like joking who has all this money and spend everywhere on everything. I think it's done.
Yeah. So Google reported earnings after the bell. They slightly missed on revenue. Not a lot, but they missed.
By like a couple $100 million. I think 68 billion.
Yeah, I think $100 million. YouTube advertising revenue missed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Google Cloud revenue beat.
Which is good news.
Yes.
Google Cloud beating is really good news.
So I think the obvious is the advertising side of their business clearly has been affected, which shows that there you could kind of extrapolate from that like there's going to be other fallouts. I think the obvious fallout will be Facebook. Like they should, if YouTube revenue is down, they missed by like $700 million, which is a lot.
Yep.
For the quarter. So, you could take a look at it and say the B2B revenue still is very solid, but like anything that's affected by consumer spend is clearly being affected. So what else does that mean? That probably means other tangential businesses, Shopify, Facebook, whatever other tools that small businesses use in this kind of e-commerce climate have clearly been impacted, is my guess. I'm sure there'll be outliers, but like there clearly is a lot more pain. The stock is getting hammered in after hours after getting hammered today.
Yep.
Microsoft also released earnings and
they're
beat because they're not reliant on the consumer.
Yeah. I mean, company balance sheets, especially the Fortune 500, never been stronger. But like you said, if you're a consumer-facing company, it doesn't even matter what industry you're in. You're spending less on ads.
Yeah.
It's just the consumer is soft for the most part. Yeah. Compared to what they were 4 months ago. Consumer's probably still strong, but
overall, in the grand scheme of things, consumer is still spending money.
Consumer's still spending money, but the consumer has less money than they did 4 months ago.
Yeah, and then,
so it trickles down. I'm curious what the high-end retailers, when they start reporting. Like, does Louis Vuitton have gangbuster earnings?
I don't know. I mean, I think they're going to be affected by China.
They have to be.
Yeah.
So while we're recording, there's like Shanghai's closed. Beijing's on the verge of being closed.
Heavy testing.
And then I think all in all, 120 million people are in lockdown in China. If you add Beijing, that's another 24 million, I think. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And then you've removed 140 million people globally between Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah.
So we've eliminated, if you think about that, nearly 300 million consumers.
Yeah.
In the world.
Wild. And then you add the gas prices, which have just crushed the consumer.
Yeah, then gas prices and food prices are through the roof.
I talked about it on Sunday. My pint of Haagen-Dazs was $7.99.
At the Grove?
No, at Rite Aid. I bought Thrifty's ice cream, which was $2.99. Haagen-Dazs, $7.99.
$7.99 is insane.
Insane. I'm never buying Haagen-Dazs again for $7.99.
And then I even saw like Indonesia's like stopping exporting of cooking oil. So they're like, there's gonna be a shortage of cooking oil.
I mean, I could tell you just from our experience, some like just grocery shopping, you can't find exactly what you want in any category. We want a particular brand that we like, white bread, never available. This particular size of almond milk that we want at the store, not available. Nothing is available, right? Like you're just getting what you can. So there's clearly like supply issues on so many levels. And then Microsoft is just an example that their part of the economy is a lot further away from being affected. Right? It's going to get affected, but I think it'll be the last to get affected, whereas the consumer is instant, right? Like what happens is like you run give you an example, a brand is running ads, you get 2 weeks of horrendous performance, you start cutting spend. You cut, and eventually you may stop. And I think that's what's happening here is like Google's customers on the advertising side saw poor performance, so they cut.
Mm-hmm.
It's an easy cut. Do you cut your AWS spend right away? Or your cloud spend? You probably cut that few months down the road if it continues to perform poorly. Look, spring is upon us. It's usually a big shopping cycle, right? You get tax refunds. It's Easter. It's spring break. All these holidays are coming up. Usually, it's a good time of the year for retail. I haven't spoken to anyone recently about it, so I don't really know. But I'm guessing it's probably tough given oil prices, gas prices.
So the upside from the stock market perspective is if the consumer's behavior is changing real time, and I think it changed like this month, like I said, you should see inflation go down, and then you should see the Fed curtail interest rate hikes. So the reason why growth tech is down 80% across the board, doesn't matter what you do, is because everyone's pricing in interest rate hikes. And when you do a discounted cash flow analysis, if the rate you're using, the discounted rate's higher, the company's worth less. It's just like the math. And if rates don't go up, then tech comes back in favor and the multiples should expand. Inflation is the only thing the Fed clearly cares about right now. And
it should be deflating now.
I think I think April's the year. Home sales were actually down 15% in March for the first time.
But home prices
were up
in February.
Yes.
So home prices shot up in February by 20%. I'm guessing that was just a race because of interest rates.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's
it's
trying
over.
To lock in. I gotta lock in a good rate. Let's go buy this. Come on, Mary. We gotta buy our dream home.
Yeah, I think. Look, with mortgage rates up, people just can't afford the home they thought they could afford 2 months ago.
Yeah,
5% to 3% is a massive monthly burn for any family.
Yeah,
and I think as quickly as we were scared about inflation, the hopeful case is that we'll realize it's done. And the Fed calms down.
The reason why it can't happen fast enough is it has to start with gas prices. That is the biggest impact.
Yeah, but in theory, like used cars have fallen off, right? Carvana had bad earnings last week. If gas is the only thing, people are going to go places fewer times.
It's none of it's work related. It's
people will carpool. People will use public transportation. They may not drive to San Francisco if your gas bill is $350. Yeah, it's like more than like a Southwest ticket.
Yeah, I don't want to leave the house.
And then airline prices
too expensive.
Airline prices are going to go up.
Yeah. Oh, airline prices are astronomical. It's insane flying right now.
I'm hearing people canceling like European vacations and stuff. Like it's happening like now.
I haven't heard anyone cancel a vacation.
I've heard someone pretty wealthy.
Was stock related?
Real estate related.
Their personal real estate.
They're over levered. It's the friend of a friend, and my friend told me this person's.
You're just airing out their shit.
I'm not putting names.
Yeah, look, we saw it happen so quickly during the pandemic. When March happened, it was like a panic, right? Everything rushed and things got ugly quick. Now I think the stock market is, regardless if it actually impacts your income status, it has a mental impact in the way you operate. No matter, whenever I'm in a meeting with someone older, they're always just checking the stocks.
Yep.
I know they're rich. It has nothing to do with their life, but they always look at the stock. When that shit's red all day, red is an ugly ass color.
It's been red for 120 days straight.
Yeah. It's
The thing
always
that-
down.
I mean, it's a free fall since December.
Yeah.
And Robinhood, just breaking news, they're cutting 9% of their full-time employees.
9 or 90?
9%.
Okay.
90%.
I mean, I don't know.
They're giving up.
Yeah, I mean, they robbed the hood. It's over.
But, I mean, that's a lot.
How many people do they have?
I'm trying to find out.
So it looks like they have 3,800 employees. So you're cutting roughly 370 people.
Yeah.
But
But that's going to be the story across the board.
everyone's going to do their 10% cut. The rumor is on looking at Twitter staff that, according to the information, that they believe 10 to 20% cuts at Twitter, and they have 7,500 employees because they're just, per employee revenue is nowhere near Snap, Pinterest, Google, Meta. So, to be more efficient, you got to take those cuts. So assume the average publicly traded big company starts cutting 10%. Inflation gets corrected because these people aren't spending money.
Mm-hmm. People aren't going out. People aren't going to go on vacations. They're not going to go to Disneyland. They're not going to do shit.
Yeah.
But history has told us, as quickly as these come down, because I think the half cycles or the cycles happen so quickly now, because of how much algorithmic trading there is, how much access to information there is. Whereas like 2000, it took 18 months to 24 months for tech to go down 80, 90%, if not bankruptcy.
Yeah.
It's happened in 3 months.
Yeah. And I think I was seeing someone post that April's like worse than November 2008.
In terms of how much things have gone down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you're thinking 80, 90% down from peaks. And the difference between now and .com is these businesses are real. Like, we can make fun of Vlad. We can make fun of Robinhood. Robinhood's going to be around. There's no risk.
Is it?
No, but this is like,
I'll tell you, when stock market's down, I don't log into my Robinhood. I don't want to see that I'm down 50%. But I only like to log in on days where I get the notification, you're up 10% today.
What's Buffett's quote? His famous quote: "Be greedy when people are fearful. Be fearful when people are greedy."
Yeah.
Everyone's fearful.
Time to be greedy.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you're buying Robinhood.
I'm not buying shit.
I'm looking for a free dinner tonight.
Exactly. I'm looking for the happy hour special. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Inflation.
No, I go out to eat. I look at the prices now. I'm like, fuck that $35 entree.
No, but in all seriousness, like, it's true. Every time there's this much fear in the market, it's whipsawed back. It happened in March of 2020. Before we even realized how much the Fed was going to do, the market started rallying in April. How funny is this? The Win, which is a company I shorted the shit out of the entire pandemic and lost money on. Made money one time and then lost money the rest of the time. At summer of 2020, I think the Win was only open 4 nights a week.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it's trading 50% higher than it is today.
Yeah.
When it's open 7 nights a week and travels back and international travels back. So no one was going to this property and it was 50% higher.
Yeah. Hot. Maybe we need to go back to lockdown. Things were good back then.
We need lockdown.
Everyone's making money.
Fed needs to just start buying bonds again. It's also, Trump made this a very big part of his administration, just following the stock market, because he knows when the market goes. It's one of the few things that he got right.
Yeah. All that matters is the psyche is.
Yeah, if your 401k is down 40%, you're going to be anxious when you go home, and you're going to be anxious, especially if you're retired and you stopped earning income, and you just saw your net worth go down 20, 30%. It's going to affect like your mood.
Oh, yeah.
And the administration has been completely quiet on the stock market.
This is going to be a very big political issue come November. If the market does not fucking rally back, this is toast.
Yeah, especially young people who are all in tech stocks.
Yeah.
Lost all their money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they need to be talking about, dude, you can claim, I know Biden claimed like, look, I don't care about rich people, the stock market effect. No, it affects like teachers.
Yeah.
Like if you're a teacher and you're putting in, X% of your salary into your 401k and you're seeing it bleed.
Yeah, even if you don't need that cash, if you see it down.
Yeah.
I'm not really exposed, but when I look at the red, I'm
exposed.
You're exposed. I'm just nervous just seeing it.
And yeah, I mean, you can talk to, I talked to 1 million people about this. No one has
1 million people.
1 million people.
It's impossible.
Every minute I'm talking to this, every second.
You'd have to talk to a new person every second, every single day for you to talk to 1 million people.
But the point is basically no one really has an answer. It's similar to like when March and April of 2020 when it went down. When does it stop? When it's going up? Why is it going up? It took people time to figure out why it was going up. And right now no one understands why it's just indiscriminately going down. So
yeah,
we'll see. At least Microsoft beat. That's good news.
Yeah, I think that'll help one segment of the
because the issue right now is any negative news craters the whole market. Like Netflix having shitty content shouldn't affect other tech stocks. It's like you lost subscribers because you have shitty fucking content right now. Why is it affecting other tech?
I don't know. I don't think they have bad content.
Well, the subscribers.
I watched Seinfeld last night. Great content.
I think that's like one of the only legacy shows they have, right?
Yeah, they lost.
They lost everything.
Yeah. I mean, what else those other shows are stupid.
People love Friends.
Those people are part of the problem in our society. People that like Friends and The Office.
Yeah.
So sales of new homes dropped to lowest in 4 months. That everyone finally is accepting that real estate actually might come down.
Yeah.
Because, if you talk to anyone in real estate, specifically real estate agents, they'll always tell you it's hotter than ever. Everything's hot, burning. It's impossible for this to continue if all asset classes have gone down. Yeah. And this is the only one that goes up. That doesn't work like that.
Especially when the cost of servicing a mortgage has gone up by 60%, right?
Yeah.
66%. It went up 2 points.
Yeah.
After 3.
Yeah.
It's 66%.
With no sign of slowing down. So if anyone tells you that real estate prices can continue, commercial real estate will also suffer. I know everyone says there's shortage of demand in warehousing and certain sectors. That shit's going to change.
Yeah,
you start laying people off. UPS reported earnings. They beat on revenue, beat on earnings because of increased costs. Volume is down.
Right. And think about when you say warehouse space, if your ads are less effective, you're selling less goods.
Eventually, you'll have less stuff.
Yes.
And then less people to ship.
Yes.
You don't need to be a genius to figure that out.
No.
I did my analysis.
I think it's pretty simple. And the hope is inflation comes down. Because if inflation can actually come down, I think a lot of these things normalized.
I think it's gas. It has to start with gas. When you go to the pump, we need to see $3.50. I don't want to see $6 something. Or $9 in the Beverly Hills one.
Is it 9?
It was for like a hot day. But yeah, I just think that has a big part of it. I'll tell you a business that is going to thrive in these tough times.
What's that?
Pepsi. You know what you're going to do? Because you have no money and no stock market future? Drown it in a good old wild cherry Pepsi and some snacks. Doritos, maybe some KFC.
Right.
Those brands those businesses during recession time, you're still always looking to satisfy a need.
Yeah, it's similar to the beginning of lockdowns. You didn't care if you're eating pizza every day, fries. You're like, fuck it. You're depressed.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's like 10 a.m.
Yeah, I mean, everyone was eating like shit in the beginning of the pandemic because you were just bored.
I actually lost weight that first month. I was so stressed out. I didn't drink and I ran 5 miles a day. I was the best shape of in my life, March, April of 2020.
So you want lockdowns, full lockdowns.
Dude, I had so much time to run and like didn't have to be anywhere or go to a meeting.
But yeah, when you go to
Maybe I should move to China.
Yeah, go to Beijing. They're about to get locked down.
Lockdown, but you can't go
No,
anywhere.
think about it. This is perfect. You have a 28-day cleanse because you're going to get locked in a cell.
And
when
I
you
can't
land.
eat anything in China anyways.
You can't eat anything. You'll probably lose 10 pounds then.
Maybe I should sell a thing called the China diet.
The China diet, exactly.
All you
go to
gotta do is buy a plane ticket, and they're gonna lock your ass up anyways for 28 days.
I mean, you got to imagine you're losing weight in quarantine. You're stuck in a room where they're not giving you alcohol. They're not giving you good food.
No.
They're giving you rationed food.
Yeah. Not bad.
And then just do push-ups.
Yeah.
And jog in place.
And I'll just be like, man, this is how I transform my body. I bought a $600 ticket on China
Probably
Air.
$300. No one's flying to China.
Oh, man. But yeah, interesting to see that, like, so people in like, when you think about recessions, you think about slow times, there are very strong businesses, consumer staples. You see Procter and Gamble's and Unilever's do really well.
Waste management up 5% today.
Wow. So it's about the essentials,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone will definitely tune down eating out. So that gives a company like a Pepsi, a Coca-Cola.
It crushes, my guess, is like a Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah. PF Chang.
CPK.
Yeah.
They're just going to get murdered.
By the way, when you go to those restaurants, that tier of restaurants right now, it is so expensive, like, to eat at those restaurants. And then because the delta between like fine dining and like mid-tier dining price point isn't that much anymore. Because all of these mid-tier chains have raised their prices so much. It's not like, you're getting a deal at any of these restaurants anymore. It's all expensive. And I think, I don't know. I'm pretty fascinated to see, alcohol typically does really well in times like this because, what better way to drown your sorrows?
Yeah.
Tobacco, things of that nature. The problem is like, I don't think it's going to be ordered through all the traditional channels. I don't think you're going to be or the new channels. Like, I don't think you're going to order alcohol on a delivery app because it's too expensive. You're going to have to walk across the street and pick it up.
Yeah.
Pick up that fifth on your own. Because I don't think, there's that chart that I don't know if you saw, internet penetration on e-commerce penetration, and it saw that huge spike, and then it's back on the same trend line from 2020. So all of that is eroded. That behavior is eroded. The products have kind of evolved in terms of, how you purchase it, and now I think you're back to normal. Let's take a quick break and talk about our friends over at mParticle. As you can see, a lot of brands have cut their advertising spend.
Yep.
And one of the reasons why they're cutting their advertising spend is because they don't have the ability to track their customers like they used to. And that's because they're relying on third-party data. And iOS 14, unfortunately, has crushed third-party data.
Mm-hmm.
You have to focus now on first-party data. And that is what mParticle helps you do. They have incredible technology that allows you to understand and digest your customer data in a centralized platform. Unbelievable customer list this company has, some of the best brands in the world. And so if you want to really understand and digest customer data, you need to work with SDKs like mParticle.
Yeah, because in the era where big tech can change policy on a dime, it could crush your business in the way you advertise, the way you spend money, how you control your customers. So if you don't own your customers' data, you're playing from behind.
Yeah, and I think what people don't realize is the understanding your customer data allows you to make better decisions. It allows you to improve conversion rates. It allows you to build better product that will hopefully retain your customer. And understanding that is your first step. So check out mParticle. They have integrations with Facebook, Google Ads, Snapchat, Twitter. So head over to mParticle.com, set up a demo, and reach out to the folks at mParticle and understand how this can be applied to your business. Incredible company, incredible founder, Michael Katz.
Yep.
Just a great follow on Twitter and social media in general. I've treated him as a mentor that has helped me in a lot of different ways. So check them out. Let's get back into the episode. So what's going on in Times Square?
Times Square, they're trying to figure out how to come back. So obviously pre-pandemic, probably busier than ever.
Well, the fact that Chinese people, Asian people are still not able to come to this country easily.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it.
And Times Square in New York City is like closer to where like a lot of office buildings are.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been in New York. You went like what? Last year, right?
Yeah.
This year. I hear downtown New York, Soho, New York, Tribeca on fire.
Wow.
And what do you mean, wow, you were there?
I mean, I don't know. It didn't feel on fire.
But my point is, when you get up to Times Square, which is what, like 50 blocks up?
Yeah.
42 blocks up? It's closer to where the office buildings are, and it's close to tourism. Tourism and office. That's it. And those are both gone. So, they're trying to figure out, like, how do we rejuvenate this part of New York City? Because the real estate's still super valuable. So there's developers, like, building out or planning to like build out concert stages. There's a application for a casino license. They're trying to like kind of just reinvigorate that part of the city, and there's so many different like ideas and angles that people are going after, because like I don't know, we know plenty of people who live in New York in those areas. So downtown Tribeca, they're never going to Times Square.
Never ever. I don't think I've been to Times Square in 5 years, and I used to go to New York 5, 6, 7 times a year, and I would never walk in that area. Really interesting opportunity. I think gambling's really interesting.
Yep.
I'm trying to think what else. Attractions are interesting for tourism. I'm trying to think what would get a New Yorker to come back, and that to me it would have to be a culinary rejuvenation. It would have to be nightlife. It would have to be kind of, I don't know, all of New York is all about neighborhoods and the characteristics of those neighborhoods, whereas Times Square doesn't have that character. It's superficial.
And it's like screams tourist.
Yeah.
And
I think ultimately they just got to wait it out.
Yeah, I'm curious, like if you think about LA, you have a $10 billion development, which is where the Rams are. So $10 billion includes the stadium and includes all the shit they're building there on out. Do you think Inglewood becomes, outside Rams games, a place people are just going to hang out like they go to the Grove?
If the right restaurants come there, 100%.
Because I know the area's gotten nicer.
It's definitely
homes are getting more expensive.
You put the right restaurant. Put Carbone in Inglewood. You don't think it's going to be work? Everyone in town is going to Carbone, right? Like you put a nice guy. You put
but it's a massive bet. Like,
Yeah, it's up to the developer now. This is why Rick Caruso is so great. Like he finds those anchor tenants that get people to, like to me, like Nordstrom being at the Grove and Nike Town and Apple anchored the Grove early on.
Inglewood needs an Apple.
Yeah, you put an Apple, you put a Nike Town, you put a Nice Guy South.
Well, yeah, there's a John and Vinny's, right, in Slauson.
Exactly. I'm just saying it's the developer has to curate the right concepts.
Yeah, so the point is, if Inglewood's going to be a good indication if Times Square can actually come back.
Times Square would. That's what I'm saying. I think it leads with restaurants and bars. You got to get local people going back to these places. Like you put a hot restaurant dead center in Times Square. I don't care what anyone says. They're going to go.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to get the right person to take that bet and create that energy. You know, like one restaurant changes an entire neighborhood. Like when Bestia came downtown,
Yeah, that changed
it
everything.
literally changed the entire freaking east side of LA. One restaurant.
And it brought all the tenants, other restaurants.
All these other up and coming restaurateurs started opening up restaurants. One restaurant changed downtown LA.
Yep.
So I think it's doable. It just it just has to like someone has to take that leap, and the right developer has to back the right person. So I'm going to end on an interesting topic. We talked about on last episode, John and I talked about this woman that was graduating high school that got into no Ivy League schools. And I read off her SATs, her GPA, all the activities. I got a message from a high school senior who just received tons of college decisions. So I don't want to give his name, just in case. But he said, Caitlin isn't special. So that's the woman who applied for those schools.
Okay.
She has the right profile to be an Ivy League student, but nothing really stands out on her resume to help her get into any of those schools. I personally scaled a small business to $15K annual revenue, interned at 3 startups, had a 4.0 unweighted GPA and 1530 on SATs, and didn't get into any of the Ivies.
Wow.
Okay. Number 2, he said, Sam Altman is currently thinking about building a college alternative. I recently had the privilege of developing a survey for him to get feedback on the type of program high achieving students would be interested in. Through helping Sam, I connected with a Stanford student club. I am still in high school and live in San Jose, but this week I'll be at Stanford for 4 days attending socials, build sessions, and meeting up to build on DAOs. Then he said, Stanford students are awesome. I hang out with them and feel like I found my people, but they aren't special. They're literally just coming up with startup ideas and working on them. And most of them are still trying to figure out Web3, like the basics of how to mint NFTs and build DAOs. So
where's he going to college?
I think he said he got into a bunch of colleges, just waiting to, I'm curious to see where this young man goes. And I think the interesting thing is we talked about, which would be interesting, record high applications and record low acceptance rate at the best schools in the country. Harvard, Yale, Brown had 50,000 applications.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know where Brown is.
I think Rhode Island.
I don't even know where Rhode Island is. I mean, like,
clearly you're not Ivy League caliber.
I'm not Ivy League material. But it shows that like interest in like the elite education is more than ever,
Mm-hmm.
right? Fast forward, here's this guy. He's smart as shit. What's his path? Because I'll tell you the cheat code if you do go to Stanford. You go to Stanford and you end up in that computer science school, or you're in the math program, you're guaranteed going to get funding for a startup.
Yep.
190,000%. You are a Stanford student looking to raise money. You will be able to do it in 1 month. But you got to get in.
Yeah, I guess what your point is basically the college trend hasn't changed. If anything, it's dramatically increased.
I think the high-end college.
College.
I think the best colleges in the country are going to be on a trajectory. Like if you're going to go to college, you go to the best. Otherwise, it's maybe not worth going.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth going to, like, no offense, but whatever the number 100 school in the country is, if you're incurring all this debt.
Yeah.
Like, sure, if it's free or your parents are paying for it, great.
Go have fun.
But if you're personally paying for the 100th school in America and you incur at the minimum, even if it's local and you stay at home, like
50K.
Yeah, debt. Like, how are you going to pay that off?
Yeah.
And it's not going to help you get a job. The 100 school's not.
You'll get something.
You'll probably get it now.
Yeah, you could probably get it now.
Especially with no one wanting to work. Like, I will show up to the office and be at that water cooler and talk about
whatever the hell you
Squid
want.
Games.
Yeah.
That's what
Whatever
have
you
to-
want. And really interesting feedback and on how hard it is to get into the top schools. I
Yeah.
like this kid's approach because he's like going to get into the ecosystem and I think he'll find his path. But he just so happens to be in proximity to the best school on earth.
Yeah, I mean, we have a friend that we've both helped a lot, who's a lot younger. He listens to the pod. He's in technology, not going to out him. But, I mean, I don't know if he intentionally did this, but there was a reason why, like, last 3 years, all I hear about, he just hangs out with Stanford engineers.
Yeah.
And it's afforded him so many opportunities.
Yeah.
Because he's just in a new circle of, like,
Yeah.
this, like, high-end, like, portion of technology. And he actively befriended.
So I recently kind of came across a cohort of Stanford engineers that are probably 5 years out of school. Fucking brilliant. I see why they get all the money. They
Right.
deserve it. They're thinking on another level. And I think living in San Francisco, living in that ecosystem also makes you think everything is possible. Like your goal as a adult should be to think as freely as a Stanford engineering student.
Yeah, I mean, that was the magic of San Francisco. Obviously, everyone left. At least the older people have left. But I used to come back, this is like 10 years ago, like, holy shit, they're thinking about the world way differently than anywhere else in the world. Everything's possible.
Yeah.
I was talking this with a friend the other day. This is before Lyft and Uber. I think the company was called Flywheel. I forget the name. And we were going a mile in San Francisco from like Pack Heights to Russian Hill to our friend's house. And he pressed a button and this car showed up. And I was like, what the fuck is this car doing here? And he's like, no, just trust me. I was like, you want us to just walk into this random person's car? This is before Uber where they'd market it. And he's like, trust me. This is going to be the new way to like get around. And we just walked in this random, I mean, now obviously that company didn't work, but we obviously see the effects. And it's the same shit like Airbnb. That only was created because of the energy and in that city at that time.
Yeah. Which now I think is all over the country.
And all over the world now.
Yeah.
Because everything's distributed.
Yeah. So I think from that purpose, like if you're a young person, you can create that energy anywhere. I think the cheat code of being at Stanford or even Stanford adjacent is access to capital is the best over there. I think it's time to switch the flag. I'm over Harvard. I'm a Stanford guy now.
Harvard has a lot of crooks. Stanford, much fewer crooks. I can't even name one off the top of my head. I guess Elizabeth Holmes.
I mean, the biggest of them all.
No, but if you go through Harvard, it's like one after the other.
A lot of good president crooks too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Stanford guy.
Yeah, switch the flag.
Time for a new flag.
Get the tree.
The problem is because we went to USC, I inherently hate Stanford.
Yeah.
I hate it. Why is your logo a tree?
You know what I hate about Stanford?
You know what happens to trees? They get chopped the fuck down.
You know what I hate about Stanford, folks specifically? Sure, you're smarter than all of us. You build great companies. You don't know shit about the NBA just because Steph Curry plays there. You don't know shit about the NFL. And you pontificate on Twitter like you fucking follow these sports. Yeah. So stick to building great companies and changing the world. Stay away from sports.
Well, I mean, the problem is in the heyday of the Warriors, tech was also booming.
Yeah, it was
so
too hot.
That was my peak hatred of San Francisco was when tech was on fire and the Warriors
were just winning title after title.
That was a very dark.
And then
period.
I hate to keep talking about it, but like I don't want to give credit. Like the San Francisco Giants won 3 World Series in that 10-year span.
Yeah, I don't remember those years. I don't recall those years Giants won anything. They're the ones that were cheating, right? That was the Astros. All right. Well, interesting conversation. Kathy's, we are now Stanford people.
Yeah.
Go buy a Stanford sweatshirt.
Stanford undergrad.
Yes. I would get a Stanford engineering sweatshirt. You will probably get a check handed to you while you walk down the street.
Probably better to wear Stanford engineering to a bar.
Yes.
People are like, whoa.
You may not attract someone that you will fall in love with, but you will definitely get a check.
Yep.
Like The odds of wearing a Stanford sweatshirt and getting money is probably 90%.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know about Harvard. I'm over it. I'm all in on Stanford. Go trees. Is that the
Cardinal?
What is it?
They're the Cardinals, right?
Oh, yeah,
Stanford
yeah.
Cardinal. But I don't know what the tree does. Why is a tree the logo?
Cardinal the bird, or is it cardinal the color?
Don't know. I'm not a Stanford grad like you.
I'm trying to get educated on this. Unbelievable. All right, let's move on to some shout outs here. All right, big shout out to Julie from Michael and Julie's sister Rachel. Happy birthday. An avid Kathy while she makes her amazing business, Unreal Mosaics. Check out at Flamingo Mosaic. She also recently is going to be getting a Chief Scribble Officer official sweatshirt that we'll be shipping out next week. And they are avid Cathys. They listen to every episode, and they've been down with us since day one, episode 1. Wow. Thank you guys. We really appreciate it. Happy birthday out in Melbourne, Florida. And we see that it's close to Palm Beach. Maybe you can pick up a little snack at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, take a pic of you in Mar-a-Lago and send it over.
Yeah, let's
maybe see the Donnie.
The Donnie. China. All right. Well, have a wonderful birthday. Have a shot of tequila on us. And we thank you for your loyal listenership.
And I heard from Ryan Tierney, record number of sales on Los Ciento bottles post his interview.
Huge.
He's fishing for another invite. I guess you own the business, so maybe he's gonna be back on soon.
Yeah, Kathy's have been supporting Los Ciento in a big way. It's pretty awesome. Just seeing everyone purchasing and enjoying it. That's all we got, folks. We will see you back here on Thursday. Let's hope the stock market goes up.
Yeah.
Also, we talked about pickleball last episode, and I've gotten an enormous amount of interest in people trying to kick my ass in pickleball.
What's the context of the pickleball conversation?
Pickleball is the fastest growing sport in America.
Oh, yeah. That the zeitgeist on pickleball is at an all-time high.
Yeah. I'm basically, this summer going to buckle down, do a 2-3 week training on pickleball, and I'm kicking all of your asses.
Okay. Great.
So I think I'm going to host a pickleball tournament this summer.
Good.
Los Ciento X pickleball.
Have to take a shot before the game.
If you lose, you have to take 10 shots.
Okay.
All right, everyone. We will see you back here Thursday. Bye-bye.
Peace.